What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and thank you all for tuning in. As always, really appreciate each and every one of you. I've been at the Glen Helen Two-Stroke World Championship National all day long, and I'm super tired, so smoked, so stay tuned for a lot of content from that, but I'm going to try to keep this video a little bit shorter than usual, or maybe I'll just ramble on like I always do. The length of this video is going to be a dead giveaway, but for tonight's video, we're going to do a post-race review from round 12 of Supercross in St. Louis on a super tricky and gnarly track. In the 250 East-West Showdown, we saw Haiden Deegan put a stamp on his 250 West Championship and continue to find another gear in terms of his Supercross speed and skills. I'm thinking it's a foregone conclusion. He's ready for the 450 class, and then we had Cole Davies. He did what he needed to do for the title, but I'm not sure if he had a choice. And then in the 450 class, we saw total Ken Roczen domination on a track that really lent itself to Kenny's style and skill set. He's gotten himself to within 5 points of the red plate, which now has 2 owners, and could Kenny be champ? Not the greatest night for Hunta, and another confusing ride from Tomac, and now they're all tied up. We even had a crazy case from Sexton that not even the best lawyer could handle, and we'll get into all that and more, but before we do, gotta give a huge thank you to my channel sponsors. They're the people that make these videos possible, so please do me a favor and go check them out. Huge thank you to ASV Inventions, home of the unbreakable lever. If you lose talent way too often on the bike like myself and you crash and break levers and stuff, then definitely check out ASV. They can help you solve that. Thank you to Sirius Studio. They can take care of all your merch needs, shirts, sweatshirts, hats, you name it, they got it. And then a big thank you to the designlabco.com. They got some great designs in their lab at their co, and if you need anything graphic wise, then definitely look no further than there. I have links and discount codes and all that fun stuff in my video description, and if you guys buy from them, a small portion of the sale goes to me to help keep the channel going, so if you guys are supporting them, you are literally supporting me. Hope you enjoy the video. Alright, before we get into the results, just some brief thoughts on the track like we always start out with in these videos, but in my opinion, not really the greatest layout besides the first couple of rhythm sections. I really liked the long one where there were a few different rhythm options, and it really, you saw a lot of mistakes right there, so you saw a lot of different options being done. And on the flip side, the not so great obstacles, there was a couple back-to-back 90s, and crossing the start straight 3 times doesn't necessarily make for the greatest obstacle in my opinion, but it was totally saved by the conditions. Rut City, lines everywhere, a true Joey Diaz invitational, but it looked insanely tricky, not even a little bit of fun, and it just looks so easy to make mistakes, but that's kind of what makes good racing in my opinion. When you see the best in the world are making mistakes like we saw tonight, that's when you know that the conditions are out of control. I really wish I could have done a post-race track walk at this one, but going to St. Louis wasn't in my contract, but a dominating win was in Deegan's contract. Let's get into the results, starting with the 250 East-West. And like I said earlier, we're going to try, and I got to emphasize the word try, we're going to try to breeze through these a little bit quicker than usual, but with the win, Haiden Deegan, total domination. Not even the best start. I mean, it wasn't a bad one. It was plenty good enough, but immediately got his way into the 2 spot, and I thought, maybe we would be in for a pretty good race between he and Davies, but boy was I wrong. Whether Davies was in championship mode or not, I don't think he had a choice. Deegan was on a completely different level from anybody out there. I mean, he friggin' smoked those guys. He put 15 seconds on Cole. It's not like Davies, was very close to the rest of the field. He smoked everybody else, and Deegan smoked him. So Deegan has truly found another gear in Supercross this year. Everything that he had has a little bit of a weakness. He's completely fixed it. He's gotten so much better at it, and I truly can't wait for him to go to the 450 class. For a while, I had kind of thought he was maybe going to have his hands full at first, but I'm thinking he's ready to go in balls deep and challenge pretty much anyone, and now he's the champion 2 rounds early, so congrats to Deegan on an insane season. I mean, I predicted him to win, but I didn't predict him to win it this easy by any means, so definitely a standout season for him. And then in the 2 spot, we had Cole Davies, his teammate, and like I said, I thought we might have been in for a little bit of a better battle, but just in my opinion, I mean, it's not like I'm in Cole's head or have much of a clue actually at all, but I feel like Cole saw Deegan coming, and it wasn't like half a second a lap or anything. I mean, he chopped that gap down immediately. I think he realized it wasn't going to happen on the night, and there was really no sense in trying to ride over his head or do anything crazy to try to beat Deegan when he's not even on the same coast, and he's beaten all the guys on the East Coast. But regardless of his mindset, I'm not quite sure if he had anything for Deegan anyways, which is pretty crazy because I thought they were pretty evenly matched last year, and Davies was a rookie, so one would kind of think that a guy going from rookie to sophomore season would make way bigger steps than a guy going from year 3 to year 4, but that's not the case. Deegan has absolutely crushed it, but still, Davies did everything he needs to do. Continuing to stretch that points lead out over third in this race, Seth Hamaker. Unfortunately for Seth, he's just been a little bit off Cole Davies. I mean, Cole is a pretty generational talent, and Seth's unreal as well, but just hasn't quite been in the same league as Cole. I mean, he's had everybody else covered pretty much, but just not Cole Davies, but still, I mean, he's definitely not out of this thing, I think maybe 11 or 12 back or something like that, so one bad race or a big mistake from Davies. Seth's right in that thing, and you guys all know Seth's my guy, so I'm rooting for him, but gotta call it like I see it. Davies is in another time zone right now. But that was your podium. Then fourth for Thrasher. Cool to see some more signs of life from him after crashing out of the lead in the whoops last weekend. So cool to see him actually have a pretty good ride back-to-back weekends. Then rounding out the top 5, we had Rider D. We'll get a top 5 at the Showdown and ride our ass off when it's time. Great ride, several passes through the field, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. I really feel like this is a good renaissance season for Rider D, putting together consistent results, just like the guy right behind him, his teammate, 6th place Dax Bennick. The Rockstar Husky boys have been super solid, but can't say enough about how stoked I am for Dax. He's so talented. He's always had so much speed, but the injury bugs definitely made it tough for him to string together some good results, and he's finally starting to do it. I feel like that 6th is about the worst result he's had this whole season, so great riding for Dax, very consistent and solid. Then a 7th for Kitchen. I guess he came in with a back injury. He was wearing the kidney belt and an ultimate throwback, so not much we can really say other than he was just salvaging, trying to survive. Only got a 7th, and I really had a lot of high hopes on Kitchen, possibly challenging Deegan at several races and maybe for the championship this year, but got to admit when I'm wrong. Kitchen did not really have anything for him, and I don't think that's much of a bad reflection on Kitchen. I still think he rips, but I think that's more of just a testament to how damn good Haiden Deegan's been this year, because he's been insane. Not trying to sound like I'm blowing him, but I mean, if you guys have been watching him, you'd probably think the same thing if you have a clue. But then we got an 8th place, top Club MX Yamaha rider, Devin Simonson. He's another one. I've been singing his praises for weeks. I feel like you guys have all heard it all already. But yeah, once again, a great ride for him. He beat all his teammates. So, if you're not going to beat anybody else, you want to beat your teammates. So that's always a good feather in the cap. And he got signed for an extension. So congratulations to Devin Simonson. I really can't say enough about how stoked I am for him. Then we had Nick Romano in 9th. Super stoked for him as well. He's got this fill-in ride, kind of a lifeline on the career, and he's making use of it very well. Definitely improving by the weekend. I mean, 9th place in a Showdown when he had to go to the LCQ at the first one. I mean, the first one was only like a couple of weeks ago, so definitely trending upwards, and I feel like that's about all you can ask for if you're in the Romano camp. So great ride for Nick, and then rounding out the top 10, Max Handbrake Volan. Didn't see or hear much from him besides the awesome heat race where he and Yoder crushed it, went like 2-3, but top 10 for Maximus. He probably wheel tapped about everything out there. And then got to throw a shout out to my guy B-Ray. He got 21st in the main, but as a total privateer, and I mean total privateer, to make an East-West Showdown, that's a huge accomplishment. So great ride for B-Ray. And then last but not least, what a bummer. Joe Shimoda goes down at the very beginning of the heat race, and looks like a foot or an ankle injury, something like that. Haven't quite gotten to watch the replay super close. If I'm being honest with you guys, I may or may not have watched those heat races and bumper-to-bumper traffic out here in SoCal, but yeah, you hate to see a contender go out. You hate to see Joe go out because he was just on the injured list with a broken neck. He just barely made the season, and now he's out again, so really hate to see that, and get well soon to Sushi. But now we'll move on to the 450 class with a win. Ken Roczen, back-to-back, 2 weekends in a row, and dude, Kenny's on a run right now. I mean, he looks unbelievable, and don't get me wrong, his 2 main contenders did kind of struggle, but I mean, you can only race the guys that are on the gate with you. They're all bad dudes, and Kenny's just been smoking them. So really cool to see Roczen on a good run. And I got to ask you guys, could Roczen be champ? I feel like this is by far the latest in the season we've been where Kenny's still got a shot at it, and he's got all the momentum in the world. He's feeding off all the media idiots like myself, talking about how he can't finish the season off strong, and he's definitely proven us wrong every single weekend as of late. So awesome ride for Roczen, gets the win, and he's within 5 of Hunta and Tomac. So if he keeps up this momentum, I mean, shoot, he could be in the points lead by next weekend. So stay tuned to some momentum from Ken Roczen because he's absolutely shredding. Then we got a 2nd for J. Coop. Really good ride for J. Coop on a track that really lent itself to his style, just like it did Kenny. Those guys are both really good when it's technical and rutted, and J. Coop could pick that rut right down the middle of the whoops and jump and hop his way all the way to the next round. But really good ride for J. Coop. I feel like he's been low-key, underrated, and really good this season. Not the greatest start to the season, but he's really put in some strong, solid results. And a 2nd, I think that ties his career best, they said. So, yeah, really good ride for J. Coop. It's cool to see him coming on strong. And then rounding out the podium, Hunter Lawrence. I just listened to the interview he did on the podium where he talked about that his shoulder was still hurt from the crash that he had last weekend where he lost the points lead. So really got to commend Hunter on being open about what's going on and sharing with everybody what the deal is, because not everybody's like that. I'm not just talking about Tomac. There's a lot of people that keep secrets, but that's the kind of night that wins you championships when you're not firing on all cylinders and you're still hurting. You still get yourself on the box. So Hunta did what he needed to do to keep himself in this thing, and I think that's about all you can ask for when you're under the gun. But then we got a 4th for Jorge Prado. Really, really good ride for Jorge. He lost a little bit of steam at the end, but I think that's kind of going to be in the Supercross contract when you're basically a rookie in the 450 class and running in second for almost the whole main. Stuff kind of starts happening a little bit fast for you, and maybe you get a little bit spun out, maybe a little bit of arm pump, maybe even a little tired, but we'll probably never hear them say that, but still a really good ride for Prado. I think that's his best result since the opener in Anaheim, and I mean, shoot, if that thing was 15 minutes, he's getting second, so he's really close to being, one of these elite guys. I feel like he's right off the back of this elite group, so definitely a gnarly comeback story for Jorge Prado. Really cool to see, and just the fact that he's trying this year, I love that. Then rounding out the top 5, we had Cooper Webb. Not a whole lot to say. We didn't see much of him on TV or anything besides when he passed Tomac for that 5 spot, but a little bit bummed on Coop this year. I really thought he was going to grab this thing by the horns and take advantage of Jet Lawrence being out and a couple of team switches, but just hasn't quite had the magic this year. He's just been a little bit off, and that's all it takes at this level. But right behind Webb, then in 6th, we had Tomac. Another very confusing ride. I mean, I can't even begin to describe how confused I am about it. It started off not too great. Then he started looking like he was reeling in Hunta, started to get some steam going, and maybe we were going to see some Temu beast mode, but didn't happen. Then all of a sudden he lost the toe big time. Webb got him and he faded back big time. And that's not because Tomac's not in shape. He's a beast. That's why they call him beast mode. But yeah, the dude has 2 jobs and doesn't get tired, so that wasn't it. A lot of speculation about the injury, maybe even bike setup. I don't think anybody knows. And on one hand, I wish Tomac would say something and maybe give us a full disclosure national, but at the same time, I get why he doesn't want to. These guys will take anything they can just to get an edge, even a mental edge. If you think the guy's ailing, then that'll give you a little bit of confidence to beat him or maybe catch him late in the race. So I understand it, but at the same time, I don't love it because I just wish I knew what was going on. But hell, maybe it's none of my business. But yeah, rounding out the top 10, we got a 7th for Savacci. He's ailing, he's hurting, but he's still soldiering on and putting in top 10s. Great underrated season from Joey, and then an 8th for Malcolm Stewart. Not his greatest weekend. He had a lot of forward momentum coming into this one, but yeah, back in the 8th spot, not really much to write home about. A 9th for Marchbanks. I thought he was going to get 7th, but maybe something happened late, or maybe Savacci and Malcolm got him. I don't know. I wasn't at the race. I saw what you guys saw. And then rounding out the top 10, we had Ducati Randis. Again, didn't see him, didn't hear much from him, but on a new bike, top 10, I mean, that's about where he belongs, so I think everything's cool there. And then last but not least, a DNF for Chase Sexton. I hate to point it out, I really do, because I like Chase, but unfortunately, this was kind of another mental error. He totally forgot where he was in the rhythm section. I don't really feel like there's any other explanation for it. If he comes out with one, then maybe I'll take it back, but I don't think there's any way that there was anything else it could have been, because nobody was hitting that quad all day, all night, or anything like that. If you guys remember a few years ago, Cooper Webb had the same thing happen to him, and he actually got landed on by Chase Sexton, ironically, but when Chase went offline at the beginning of that rhythm, he cased the double in, that threw him off, so, he wasn't on his normal line, so I feel like that definitely was a main contributor to all that, but far from ideal, a DNF, but I mean, the championship's gone, he doesn't really care what place he's getting in points, so still up to that point, it wasn't really going super awesome. First turn crash in the heat race, kind of just riding around in the back, so not really too many positive signs out of this night from Chase Sexton, but he'll bounce back. He's a bad dude, one of the baddest, and yeah, that's all I got for you guys from this one. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it, and next weekend we got Nashville for round 13, and we may or may not have some riders that are going to be more excited for the after party and the downtown scene than the race, but they have no choice. We have no choice, and yeah, thank you guys again for watching. Really appreciate it. Can't say it enough. I'll catch you guys in the next one, and stay tuned for a whole lot of Glen Helen two-stroke coverage. It's going to sound great.